Hi, this is the third of 4 videos that I'm doing about Pearl Street in Hartford, Connecticut, which was once called the Wall Street of Hartford. In 2 previous videos, I've talked about the eastern section of Pearl Street between Main and Trumbull Streets. In this video, I'm going to talk about the area west of the intersection with Trumbull and the buildings that were on the north side of Pearl Street all the way to the corner of Ford Street across from Bushnell Park. In my next video, I'll talk about buildings on the south side. And my focus, as usual, is really going to be on buildings that are now lost to us today. This is the corner of Main and Pearl Streets in downtown Hartford, Connecticut. In the distance, looking west down Pearl to the corner of Trumbull Street, is the City Place skyscraper erected in 1980. Going back to a view from the year 1900, another building stood on this corner. It was the mansard-roofed headquarters of the Hartford Fire Insurance Company, erected in 1870. In 1896-7, the building was expanded with an additional floor and a new addition to the north. Just to the west, down Pearl Street, was another much smaller addition, the company's print shop, built in the 1890s. And next to that was a 5-story commercial building that the company erected in 1899 to 1900. This postcard view of Hartford looks northeast from the dome of the State Capitol building, across the Park River, with a good view of the buildings along the north side of Pearl Street. Zooming in, it shows the structures I just mentioned that were erected by the Hartford. The company would move to its current headquarters in the Asylum Hill neighborhood in 1921. Just west of these buildings was the Putnam Phalanx Armory, erected in about 1890. The building was remodeled in the 1920s and 30s. As I mentioned, all of these buildings would be replaced by City Place. The next building west is an extension of the Goodwin Building on Asylum Street that still exists today. Next to that is another building that survives. It was erected as the City Mission Building in 1890. And next to that is another building erected in 1890 and demolished in 1937. As shown in this Hartford Courant article from September 19, 1915, the building was then home to the Charter Oak Motor Car Company. Next to that was the L-shaped factory building built in 1866 of the Plimpton Manufacturing Company, which produced envelopes and stationery. The house, built for the company's founder, Lucius B. Plimpton, still stands today on Asylum Street. The factory building, located at the corner of Pearl and Ann Streets, was completely remodeled in the early 1920s. It continued to house the company's retail store and printing department until 1947, when the retail division was sold off. The new owners at one time had 4 Plimpton stores in the area. In 2014, the last of these, which had opened in West Hartford Center in the 1930s, finally closed down. The site of the former Plimpton's building on Pearl Street is now a parking lot. South of the Plimpton building, as shown in this view from the Hartford Atlas of 1896, was the Hartford Electric Light Company's steam-powered electrical generating plant, which was started in 1883. The Hartford Electric Light Building, later Connecticut Light and Power, was erected here in 1913-14. This building survives today, has an additional floor, and is now used as apartments. The area north of this building is now a parking lot, but there were once a number of buildings there. This postcard is another view looking to the northwest from the state capitol. It's particularly notable for showing the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Arch, still under construction. The arch would be dedicated in 1886. As for Pearl Street, it shows a building on the site where Plimpton's was also about to be erected. It also shows the buildings fronting the Hartford Electric Light Company's plant, as well as the plant's smokestack. The tallest building on this block is the Seidler May furniture store, erected in 1885. The partnership of George N. Seidler and Charles May started around 1870. They closed their store in 1905, but continued to own the building as a partnership. However, Charles May kept all of the company's account books and collected the rents from the tenants of the building. When Seidler died in 1909, his son, George M. Seidler, demanded an accounting of the affairs of the partnership, but May refused to do so, saying it had all been settled back in 1905. A lengthy legal squabble ensued, with many hearings before several different judges before an out-of-court settlement was finally reached at the end of 1911. The building would then be sold to other owners. On the corner of Ford Street, there were 4 much smaller buildings erected about 1870. At that time, the level of the land was much lower and frequently flooded. The street level was later raised, so the lower level of these buildings was below the road. They were replaced by a structure called the Whitmore Building, erected in 1912, which for a number of years also had a car dealership. This entire area would be transformed in the 1950s with the erection of the Statler Hilton Hotel, which of course is itself now long gone as well. Thank you for watching my video about the buildings on the north side of Pearl Street, west of Trumbull Street. In my next video, I'm going to talk about buildings on the south side of Pearl Street, and there's quite a few interesting ones. So stay tuned for that, which I'm going to put out tomorrow. And as always, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel, and thanks a lot.